everyone, welcome back to Real Housewives of Episode Season 10, Episode 11. And we're at Tia's house first, and it looks like she's going to a polo event as she's leaving out with her family and some food to have an outing. And this time we get to see Tia's brother Deji, and he's going with her family, and I guess he's going to meet the girls for the first time as well. So now as we see the bus getting ready for the family, I thought it was just for the family, but we also get to see Ashley, Angel, and Giselle pull up. I guess they're going to ride on the bus with them. So it does look like most of the women, or all of the women, are going to the polo event on the bus transportation with Tia and her family. Now, as the ladies, head on off to the polo event, we do see that Stacey is not there. And Tia expresses like, look, she was disinvited. Of course, it was because of the argument and Tia getting put out of the event. And I would too, because I have, clients that are going to meet me there. I don't need to argue or talk to the side about anything while I'm hosting an event and it's business for me. So we see the ladies finally arrive to the polo event, and as they're greeting clients, business partners, associates of Tia's, and then we find out they have the opportunity to sing the national anthem. Now, I don't know about them, but I don't even know them by heart myself. So to watch them sing this is going to be funny. Child, so they sung the song, y'all. It was hilarious. And now we get to see the polo event take place. Of course, during this event, we get to see the ladies stomp the hose or the grass and dirt back into the hose, to preserve the grass. And I'm with Wendy. I didn't get cute to stomp on poop and dirt. Y'all don't have nobody to pay for this? Like, I didn't know I needed to be a part of this, but I guess that's a part of the experience, and they're still enjoying themselves. And then after that, we see, the polo game pick back up. We then get to see Ashley and Jazzy to the side, discussing something. And it just happened to be, about Jazzy's wedding and how Ashley had questioned if Stacey was even coming to the wedding, and Jazzy's like, look, that's my friend, so there's no question that she's not coming. So she then proceeds to tell her that, her and Stacey had a good time at the wedding. And of course, with that issue at Stacey's event, it kind of brought something different, because now it's just looking a little bit different to Jazzy. But Jazzy is still on the not even on the fence. Jazzy is still on Stacey's side, and Ashley is just trying to say, hopefully she doesn't show you the wrong side that everyone else has seen, or she hasn't, or she's not going to do any of the lies that we have also been seeing from Stacey. And as the polo game comes to an end, we see the ladies sit down and convene in a circle. And, Ashley is, trying to be queen bee, start this conversation of the group being coming back to normal. And she mentions that Angel had said that, she doesn't feel like the group is trying to bring her in closer and involve her in any of the events. And Angel, of course, she doesn't agree, but you know what? She's going to put a smile on her face. She's going to fake the funk. And, she's saying that, I'm going to try to spend more one-on-one time with the ladies. And it looks like she does try to get a group trip together. So we'll see what happens later on. It does look like in the next scene, we're seeing Angel and her husband pack up, because they're going back to Colorado. And then it also looks like, while they're packing, that the homeowners, one, they were renting because they were trying to find their home, as Angel has stated. And, from the text messages, it does look like, the homeowners thought that they were going to leave for a period of time and that they were checking out. So, they had to be out. And it just looked like it was a miscommunication on dates. However, this is all we're shown, and I can't, press into it even more. But they are packing to go back to their Colorado home. And I guess they're going to have to look for Maryland homes from Colorado now. As Angel and Bobby are packing, we see Kierna show up, and we also see Tia show up. And it looked like Kierna didn't know nothing about Angel moving back. So, and she doesn't want her to go back. But, I get it, your best friend, all that. But when Tia shows up, it looks like Tia probably didn't know either. And also maybe she's asking for Tia's advice to help them find a home in Maryland. So the ladies stay and they help her pack a little bit. And I thought that was cute, getting to know Angel just a little bit more, and Tia possibly helping her out to find a new Maryland home. I don't know why she didn't even suggest Tia in the first place, but, And as we see the ladies leave Angel's house, we see Tia. She's on the phone with Giselle. Giselle then invites her to like a cowboy July 4th theme party and invites the entire family. And of course, during that conversation, Tia lets Giselle know about Angel's issue and what's happening as she's leaving the house. And of course, in Giselle fashion, Giselle's about to jump the gun to something else. Oh, so she just came here to film from the show. And if she did, now what? She can afford the home in Potomac. You can't, Giselle. Now what? Yeah, she's going back to her Colorado home. And and I really like Tia for this, because now she's like, look, I don't even want to be a part of that kind of conversation. Don't include me. So Tia's going to kind of stir the conversation somewhere else. Now, after that conversation, we get to see Wendy, Eddie, and their daughter Cameron. Looks like she's going to do some type of activity, and it's really cute to see that she's in gymnastics. Now, as the class and family time is going, we get to see how that 4th of July cowboy themed party is coming together, because it involves Giselle and Wendy to commemorate coming together every 4th of July. And in this conversation, we also get to see how the renovation is going on in Wendy's house. And then we also get to hear about Wendy and her struggles with her family, how she hasn't talked to her dad in a while. She's scared to pick up the phone. And, you know, she's a bit intimidated of how the conversation is going to go. And it's really nice to get to see Eddie be, you know, her rock, her, you know, guidance, because he's also helping her through this time because of experience with his own family. So hopefully we'll get to see Wendy, you know, kind of rekindle things with her dad, and so they can come to some type of resolution. Now, in this next scene, we get to see Stacey meet up with Kierna. And of course, both ladies are here to meet up to talk about their current relationship as friends. And as the ladies, you know, recant all of the issues they have been through, it is clear to see that, you know, the ladies may not get along after this, so they may just have to learn how to just get along for now, just smile in each other's faces, just be cordial towards one another, and that's the only basis of their friendship. And on that note, in this scene, the ladies agree to disagree, and they're just going to try to move forward from all this. Now, in this next scene, we see the ladies, Giselle, Ashley, and Wendy meet up at like a nightclub, or, you know, like a lounge. And as the ladies meet up and sit down and start to, you know, talk to each other, they all of a sudden get an invite from Angel to meet up in Colorado, you know, to see Angel's home and, you know, have a good, I guess they call it fly cowgirl energy sisterhood. And this is a good way to get to know Angel more, you know, get to know how she lived in Colorado. And, you know, it's just more time for them to spend with Angel so that they can feel, I guess, comfortable inviting her to different events with them. But of course, with that invite and Angel coming up, we then get to see them gossip about Angel. Of course, Giselle's going to start it off because, you know, her gossip is, you know, if it's not about Giselle, Giselle's ready to spill the beans about anything, but she keeps her life tightly closed, and that's what I don't like about Giselle. Like, you can talk about everybody else's life, but not your own. And now you're about to discuss Angel's issues, which really ain't none of your business, but here we are. And of course, we get Wendy. She's going to chime in. She's going to say, she didn't exactly say it was Angel, but she said some girl came up to one of her realtor friends asking for a home that looks like it's $50,000, but she's only willing to pay $2,000 to $3,000. Wendy, do you see why you're going through what you're going through? Like, you have no room to talk when you and your husband got arrested for some fraud stuff. But after that messiness, we get to see in the next scene, you know, Wendy and Giselle's event for the cowgirl theme. Now we get to see some of the ladies show up. They showed up with what they were, you know, their food choice or whatever Wendy dished out. Now, Wendy, if you said fried chicken, I thought you was gonna fry the chicken yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like me a good piece of Popeyes, but I thought you was frying the fried chicken yourself. Next time, say you bring in Popeyes, not just fried chicken, but okay. As the party continues to go on, we see Kierna show up, and, you know, Angel is missing. She's, you know, a couple hours late for the party. Don't know what's going on with that. But at the same time, you know, Kierna calls Angel, lets her know, hey, you know, or, you know, ask her, you know, how far are you away? Oh, we're pretty far, but, you know, we're on our way. We're going to get there, which should have just been enough for them. But it could, because anybody else can arrive fashionably late and you'll get over it. So why all this energy for Angel and her husband? Like he said, we'll get there when we get there. Giselle and Ashley getting on my nerves. So what? Yeah, her husband said it. Now what? What you going to do about it? Like, all you talking about he got all this energy. So do you. Leave her alone. She'll be there. Now, we get to see Stacey show up, and yes, she brought her man, and I can't wait to see what they're going to say about him. I already know they're going to have some type of negative thing to say, even though Stacey's finally bringing her man around, and even though Stacey is now showing a more intimate part of her life, it's still not going to be enough for them, so they're going to have something to say. Now, as the ladies get to meet Stacey's husband, I can't help but to think that he looks like a taller version of Michael, but well, we move on, and the ladies start to introduce themselves to him, and of course, he's awkward, they're awkward. The whole situation is awkward. Now, even during all the awkwardness, you know, the ladies finally get just a little bit comfortable and everybody starts to eat. Stacey's potato salad looks store-bought, but it's okay, Stacey, because, you know, Wendy bought chicken too. And then we get to see Jazzy show up. I don't know whose kid Jazzy showed up with. But okay, Jazzy's looking cute. The dirt, whoever's child that is, she's there. And then we also finally get to see Angel arrive with her husband and family. Now, Angel does arrive when they're giving out these phony awards for the food that the women have prepared or bought or cooked. And of course, when it gets to Ashley and her catfish, of course, Angel doesn't find it funny, because how long are y'all going to talk about that? As this party continues, we get to see everybody's mixing, mingling, getting along. And of course, when all these convene together, sitting it down, meeting each other's children, Ashley asks about Angel's situation and how long they're going to be here. When are they going to come back? Now, Tia does bring up a good question. What was it originally booked for? Now, Angel, I'm going to get on you on this one, because you booked it. How do you not know the stay? And even if you didn't book it, or your assistant did it, or somebody else did it, why do you not know the length of stay? How do you know how to pay for your length of stay? Now you got Wendy throwing it in the group's face with other people that shouldn't be knowing it, but they saying you evicted, girl. But we know Angel gonna get a little mad at that. But Angel, we do need to know, honey, is you evicted or is you not? Okay. And you guys, you know what? With this episode, it ended. Thank you. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.